Hello everyone, welcome to Claret and Booze. My name's Nick, and this is a daily ramble. I hope you're all well. It's Monday. No more home games this year. That's quite nice in itself. I have decompressed after the game on Sunday, but I've got some more thoughts on this, and I'm going to go into that in a little bit. But before I do, as always, if you're new to this channel, please subscribe and don't forget, drop a like on the video because it does really help us. I want to say a big thank you to everyone that joined us, both on screen, on the phone, to help us through that 24-hour marathon session on the weekend. All in the cause that we're all, it's close to most of our hearts, to be quite honest. It really is. And that is getting these people that you can see on the right of your screen out of this club. Out, proper out. We've had enough. 15 years of lies. It's done now. I'm not going to go into that too much now. We had 24 hours of that at the weekend. But I am going to touch on that in different bits and pieces. What I have done, though, is I've procured a URL so that, because it's a change.org petition, it's a proper petition. But now what you can do is you can just go to bsout, all one word, .co.uk. That takes you straight to the petition. So you can keep an eye on it, keep an eye on the numbers. The numbers were amazing. I'll be honest, I was targeting, said to you lot, 2,000. When I started it, I thought I'd be struggling to get to 1,000 in the first week. We're like 2,200, 2,300 already. Bearing in mind, I'm not on any other social medias. I'm not on Twitter. I'm not on Facebook, Instagram. I'm not on them. So this is literally what you guys have done, helped it grow, signed it, shared it with your mates. That's a good tactic. What someone else said, you should make it, because we all know what West Ham fans are like. We're quite, we're like, yeah, all right, I'll do it later, It's like when my missus asks me to do something like she just has. I'll do it in a minute. Bully them. Pick 3 of your West Ham mates and keep badgering them, and don't let up until they've both signed it, checked their email and confirmed it, and shared it with someone else. The 3-person rule. If everyone does that, the numbers are going to be banging, and this is great progress. Like I say, so I'm really proud of what we've done, of everyone that joined us. It was good to see all the fan channels unite, and it was good to see people like Hammers United on. Wonderful to talk to Bill Gardner. Great to talk to Nigel Khan. All the fans. It was good to see. Do you know what? It felt like West Ham for 24 hours. It did. Felt like we was all back together again. West Ham United. Yes, it ain't corny. It shouldn't be corny because that's our fucking name. So we are. So we are. So before I get into that anyway, at the weekend, West Ham had their last game at home against Nottingham Forest. It was off the back of a win, which I weren't buying into the hype on that one, right? They just had a European game on a Thursday night. They'd rested 9 players. Their season's dead. They've been shit all year. They're poor. Plus, you're playing a team in front of a massive group of fans that expect their team to attack. They're very easy to sit back and shit house against. So I did kind of expect that we would beat them. I didn't expect him to put out the team that he did. That's how little, I did think that we would win before the game. Once I'd seen the lineup, I thought, no chance. But he got away with it. We won. So what does he do? He goes and picks that same lineup on the last day of an awful season. Losing that game equals our worst ever Premier League record at home. Ever. It's been that bad. I don't think we've overturned a 1-goal deficit all season. When we're losing, we're dead. We might pull it back to a draw. That's about it. That's all you're getting. And he set out with 9 defenders. The midfield of Guido, James Ward-Prowse and Souček. A back 5. It was disgusting. It was despicable when you look at what he had on the bench and when you look at what happened when those players came on 60 minutes. Completely transformed us. And as I said in the post-match reaction, that's the old West Ham. Those players are surplus to requirements. They were thrown on to save us, but they're going. They're going. You can kiss goodbye to those types of player if Potter stays. If he does, I expect him to. I don't want him to. I don't want him to stay. But as I've been saying, you all know that I wouldn't even care if I woke up and I saw Potter sacked, I'd be, well, that's good, but I wouldn't be happy because I'd be thinking, well, look at what these 2 people have just done. Look at who they've appointed. They'll just they'll go and employ another manager that we don't like. So Graham Potter is a symptom of the illness and the virus that is Brady and Sullivan. That's what they are to this club. So Potter is a problem, and I don't want Potter here. I want him to go. But until they go, nothing will ever change. We'll have short-term fixes when things are down. We've seen it throughout their 15 years. We'll get a little uplift. They'll razzle-dazzle us. They'll throw us a few players to shut us up. And yes, a large portion of the fan base will divert their attention then because they don't care. And then when it all goes to shit again, they'll start moaning again. They'll only moan when things are bad. But it's time. It's time to get these people out. It's time to get them gone. What happened at the weekend was disgusting. That was because, you know something? Don't matter how bad a season is, if you finish on a positive, say for instance he started with the team that finished the game and not just won, but we played brilliant football. That would have set everyone up for the summer. That would have given you the justification in your own head to actually try and kid yourself, try and believe that next season is going to happen again. But you can't now. You literally can't. He can't even give us that. The guy couldn't even give us that. And this has been picked up by other people. And he comes out in his press conference and says something like, you know, well, there were some positives. Yeah, the positives were when you made the changes, which unfucked your starting lineup. The whole story of yours and Lopetegui's tenures. You're worse than him. I don't care what anyone says. You're worse than Loppe. We're lucky Loppe got the points that he did. But then he comes out in his press conference and he says, yeah, I'm going to use the summer to try and make West Ham better. Well, that fills you with fucking confidence, doesn't it? He's going to try and make us better in the summer. I mean, are you watching this and listening to this, Sullivan, Brady? Are you? You don't care though, do you? You don't care. They just make it up as they go along, season by season. There's no vision. There's no plan. There never is. They just luck their way through every season. They panic. They react. That's all they do. They react. There's never been a plan. Potter and this squad and everything else is a result of the way that they've run this club. But we should have been so much better this year. We should have had so much more to cheer about. The football that we played there. That midfield, for instance. How good did we look? For 20 minutes towards the end of the game. I've been calling for a midfield similar to that all season long. All season. For it to be Alvarez, Paqueta and Soler or Kudus in the middle. I've been asking for that. Because the midfield is the heart and soul of your team. It's the engine room. It's rule number one of football. If you lose the midfield, you lose the game. So yeah, occasionally it's going to work. And occasionally Thomas Souček's going to score a goal. He scores a lot of goals. But he got a header on 2 minutes in that game after being lauded and given a crown and a throne to sit on after the Man United game. What the fuck did he do after that header? And I ain't just picking on Souček. It ain't his fault. It's not his fault. He's a great man. But he's limited. Do we want to be limited as a football team? Because we will if we've got a limited midfielder. Gio hit the nail on the head. When a manager has got players like this and he's relying on Souček to score, he's admitting he's failed because he can't use the likes of Alvarez, Paqueta, Kudus, Bowen. He can't score goals with those great players because of the way that he's playing football. But I love that heart, I love the fight, and I love the desire from those players. They looked angry. They looked pissed off. And it weren't because the Nottingham Forest players were laying down, doing what any team would do when you look at what was at stake for them. Because the only reason they were doing that was because we allowed them to get themselves into a position where they was 2 goals in front. That was it. So, of course, they're going to do whatever they've got to do to get over the line. But everything he did was wrong. Somebody made the comment in the video we did over the weekend, one of the many. And I didn't pick up on it at the time, but that was Cresswell's last game, as well as Soufal. I'll get onto them in a minute. He didn't even give Cresswell... didn't even have the common decency to sub Cresswell off on his own so the fans could applaud him and give him his appreciation. Mate, he didn't even do that. Everything about that game stunk, and the fan base are raging, more raging now than I've seen them. I got text messages last night. You can imagine how tired I was. I was getting text messages last night saying, please do a Sunday night show. I need to speak to someone. I need to rage. Shout out to you, Phil. I couldn't. I was too tired. The main issue is that That's the finish of the season. It doesn't matter what happens away at Ipswich. I don't give a shit whether we win, whether we get beat, whether we draw, whether we win 1, 2, 3, 4-0. That's Ipswich. They're dead. They're down. It's an exhibition game. It means nothing. That game did mean something. But nothing seems to mean anything to this bloke. He's a drip. He's a massive drip. There's no urgency. You can tell by his mannerisms and the way that he talks and the way that his team plays football. And it ain't because people say, well, that intensity and that fire in their bellies in the last 10, 20 minutes, why ain't the players got that all game? They ain't got that all game because they're coached not to play that way all game. It's controlled, calm, slow it down, hold the ball in your own half. This is sucking the life out of football. None of us can connect with it. I did say it on the review. Listen to the difference in that stadium. From the first 60, 70 minutes to the last 20 minutes, it erupted. We connect with that. People can say they don't care about style all they want, but you're talking nonsense. You're talking rubbish. Every single person that goes over to a football stadium wants and deserves to be entertained, or at least for their team to try and entertain them. And that entertainment can come in many forms. Fancy football, fight, anything. But sitting, doing what we do and what we have done for such a long time is the complete polar opposite of entertainment. Now, I don't know whether this is all part of the plan for driving fans out. You heard that. You heard when we spoke to Bill Gardner on the 24-hour show. It was 22 and a half hours, by the way. I did get an hour and a half off at the end to watch football, but I'm going to still keep calling it 24 hours. But when we spoke to Bill, you've got a guy who's in his 70s. He's literally bled for West Ham, and he feels like he's not wanted. That's the feeling that he gets. You heard from Ryan about when Ryan was banned and how the club didn't even really want to help him. He had to force them into it. This is how they're treating proper West Ham fans. They don't want us there. It's enough. So the way forward, I know as working class fans, we need hope. You need positivity. Stop being negative. What you're doing is you're buying into lies. That's what you're doing. I need to believe that they're not what they are. How about accept it? Accept them for what they are. Accept them for what they are. And what we'll do is we'll celebrate by getting together, being united, and basically trying to force them out and get our club back. It should be celebrated what we're doing. Like I said, over the weekend, that was just a start. Well, it isn't a start. There's groups that have been out there working on this for a long time. You know, whether it was the people that ran the protest before COVID, whether it was, what Hammers United and Ironworks Alliance and people like that are doing now actively, where they're taking a different angle, but it's all with the same aim. People are trying to improve things for West Ham fans. My belief is that there's only one thing that will fix this, and that is getting them out. They've got to go. They've bled it dry. We've already spoken about the PSR problem. The PSR problem, as explained to me by Gio, this is how I understood it anyway, is that you can only spend a certain amount of money based on a club's turnover. So you are restricted. However, there is now a gap for an owner to pump money themselves directly into that club to top up the pot every year. You can pump up to £90 million in. But it can't be a loan where you're making money back out of it. You've got to be pushing money into the club. That's what you've got to do. The issue that we've got is there are more or less every other owner in the Premier League will do that. They will pump money in, speculate to accumulate. These people won't put a penny of their money in. Not a penny. Which means that we're restricted to the turnover of our club and selling players. And that's why maybe they're looking at going towards this new Brighton model now, because they've sold everything that they could sell. They've borrowed against everything that they could borrow. And now they're worried because the Declan Rice money is about to go. And their last big saleable assets that we've got, once they're gone, what happens then? I don't trust these people. They couldn't run a piss up in a brewery. They couldn't. And they certainly don't have any care. Well, it ain't even care. They can't stand us. They can't. I think the facial expressions on that image is bang on. So please, if you haven't already, you haven't got to like me. This isn't about me. This is about West Ham fans coming together again. You look at me and James haven't always got on. I mean, that's an understatement. But we've come together for this. a lot of the big fan channels. You don't see it happen very often. We've come together for this because it's something that we want. We want our club back. We want it back. So please, if you haven't already, sign the petition. It don't take long. You just put your name, your email address in. You ignore all the change.org asks you for money every 2 minutes. Well, as you're going through the process, just ignore it. Make sure you share it. That's important. But then go into your emails directly after and accept and validate your vote. Otherwise, it don't count. And share it around. Pump it around. Let's get them out. Keep the momentum going. Keep sharing it on your socials. You know, you haven't got to use what I'm doing. You can do it yourself. You know, you can, whatever it is, make up your own flyers, make up your own artwork. Try and, as I said, we need help with this because I'm not on all the other social media platforms. I'm just not. So the more people that jump on board with this, the better. And I've seen, because you can see all the names that have, honestly, I'm so proud of the support that this cause has got already. It shows you the strength of feeling. And this does mean something. It does. Will getting a petition done, will that immediately make them go? No, but it's a big start. It's a good start because what it does is it shows that the West Ham fans are united. They have existed this long by dividing us. Divide and conquer is what they've done the whole way through. They don't want us united. That's why they're diluting people inside the stadium because it's just easier for them to manage. I mean, the big thing with Graham Potter, going back to that, I mean, is going to be, is it June 1st when season ticket renewals are due? I wonder what will happen because I know they're going to be down. Honestly, I would bet a lot of money on season ticket renewals being way low, like insanely low this year. There's so many people that ain't going. So you're voting with your feet. But even if you are, even more so, if you're voting with your feet because you feel like you've been mugged off for so long and you ain't going back over there, don't just wash your hands of it and walk away without doing this because we can take it back. Once these people are gone, your appetite for West Ham will come back again. So I understand it, and what you're doing is a good thing as far as I'm concerned. It is because that is a process. You not renewing your season ticket is a process in itself. I respect it. But do this as well. Sign the petition. Make your voice known. Okay. I'm not going to go on talking about players that are going to be coming in because I just don't care. We could give Potter Man City's 11 and I think would still be shit to watch. I don't care. I'm really, really not fussed at the moment. Maybe I'll get the bug over the summer. I don't know. But if what I was saying was, if the season ticket numbers are low, Mr. Sullivan, he might have a little, and obviously things like this start gaining traction. There's going to be a sacrificial lamb. They're going to need to try and get fans back in that stadium. Whether or not he's going to get rid of him, I don't know. I wouldn't put it past him because he wasn't Sullivan's man anyway. Because they won't want to have a half-empty stadium next year. They really won't. Right, there is another image I've got here as well. There'll be loads of these coming out, and I'm gonna make these shareable as well. Oh, shut up, dogs. So there's another one. Again, if you go to bsout.co.uk, that's it. It's done. Takes you to the change.org page. Right. The other thing, I want to give my my cousin a quick shout out. So, Ryan Whitfield, my cousin, he's a lifelong West Ham fan, as we all are. You know, he's sat with us over at the Bobby Moore. They sit with Gary now because Gary's still in the Bobby Moore. So you know, he's dad, his brother, he's granddad as well. He's got the bug for marathons. So this picture at the bottom right-hand corner, that was from the Copenhagen Marathon, which was ran on May the 12th. Well, this weekend just gone, before the West Ham game, setting out at 7 a.m, he ran past all of the London football stadiums, finishing at West Ham, where he went to the game, had a beer, and I imagine died not long after, because he must be in pain, Ryan. But, Ryan, I just wanted to say, mate, I'm really proud of you. He did it for a mental health charity. This isn't a beg for money. This is just an acknowledgement for an amazing achievement, and you did it for a great cause as well. So, Ryan, well done, mate. I'm proud of you. So, yeah, look, that is it from me. I'm getting as bad as things are, as bad as the football is, as much as I'm not looking forward to next season, this is giving me some hope. This is giving me some purpose as a West Ham fan. I feel like West Ham again. I do. That's what that 24 hours did. And the more people that jump on board, the more together we'll feel, the stronger we'll be. Love you all. Speak to you soon. Come on, you irons. Don't forget, drop a like on the video. It does help us. That's it.